Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over 3 opening traps in the Caro-Kann variation. Alright, particularly we're going to be taking a look at what's called the Apocalypse variation, and I definitely know why it's called the Apocalypse. Things can go terribly wrong. Let's get to it. Here we start off with e4 c6, the Caro-Kann, knight f3 d5, pawn takes knight e5. This is the Apocalypse variation. And here, black plays knight c6 to attack the knight. d4, let's defend and control the center. Bishop f5, a very common but very bad move in a lot of these variations. And here, white plays a very tricky move, queen over to f3. Now, typically, this looks like a very good move because, well, we're developing with a threat attacking the bishop. But if your opponent's not paying attention and does not know the trap, here they're going to play the very bad move of knight takes on d4. Why is this bad? It looks like a very good move. The knight is winning a pawn, defending the bishop, attacking the queen, and even threatening knight takes on c2 check. In fact, if white does not know the best move here, they could lose because, well, anywhere they move the queen to, the knight will take on c2 check as the bishop defends. But uh-oh, it is actually white to move and win here. White to move. What do? All right, believe it or not, white does have an easy winning move here with queen takes on f5. Okay. I thought the knight was just defending. It looks like it was, but the knight was overloaded. After knight takes on f5, we see that the diagonal becomes weak, which is a very common theme in a lot of these Apocalypse variations. Here you just play bishop to b5 check, queen blocks, bishop takes on d7 check, king over, and bishop takes f5. Here you're just up an extra piece, and black is in a losing position. All right, let's go on to the second trap that we have here in the Caro-Kann variation. Here we're going to go ahead and play e4 c6, knight f3 d5, pawn takes. What do you play here? Here we're going to play knight to e5 for the Apocalypse variation. Knight c6 attacking the knight, d4 to defend it, knight takes on e5, d takes on e5, bishop to f5, again, question mark move. Here we're going to play that tricky move yet again. Queen over to f3, attacking the bishop. And here many people will play this move without even thinking. They're going to go pawn to e6. It's a very natural move to defend. And, well, it looks like they're just doing okay here. But, again, just like last time, the diagonal becomes weak. What do you play here? Here we just play bishop to b5 check. Now, if they don't want to lose by forced checkmate, they're going to play queen to d7 here. And, well, you're just going to be up an extra queen. But many people here are not going to want to go through that, so they're going to play king to e7. Now it's just going to be a forced checkmate. What do you play? Here we get to play the amazing queen to a3 check. Here, amazingly enough, the king has nowhere to go to. So, the queen has to block, and then we just play queen takes d6 for check and mate. All right, our last one here is one of my favorites, and it has a lot of different variations. 3 particular ones that we will go over today. Again, in the Apocalypse variation. Here we go. e4 c6, knight to f3, d5, pawn takes, knight to e5. And here again, we see the terrible move, bishop to f5. How do we take advantage of it? Here we're going to play bishop to b5 check. Remember, this diagonal is very weak. Any way that they try to block here, white is just going to get an advantage. Here we'll take a look at the first move with bishop to d7. Here you get to play a very tricky variation of queen over to h5, threatening checkmate on f7. Here most people are going to be playing g6, and here you get to play the beautiful knight takes on d7. Hey, wait a second, can't the pawn just take the queen? It can, but here you're actually going to get checkmated. Notice that if they try to play knight takes on d7, here you just play queen takes on d5, and you're just up an extra pawn. But if they miss it and they say, oh, look, it's a free queen over here and they take, here you have a beautiful checkmate in 1. What do you play? Here you get to play knight to f6 for double check and mate. All right, back to the game. Here after bishop b5 check, we looked at bishop blocking. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happens if the knight blocks. So if the knight goes back to d7, what do we play now? Here again, we get to play queen to f3. This queen f3 is so strong. Here it attacks the bishop, and it's going to attack the pawn here on d5. And again, we get a few different variations. Here, well, there's a few moves to play. If they play pawn to e6, we're going to win really nicely with the checkmate here with bishop takes on d7 check, king e7, pawn to g4, threatening checkmate on f7 here, bishop back, queen a3 check yet again, king f6, g5 check, king takes, it's a nice king hunt here, d4 check, king takes, and now a nice checkmate in 2. Queen e3 check, king c4, queen c3 mate. If they try to move with bishop e6 after queen f3 to attack the bishop and the pawn, here again we have a very nice idea. Do you see it? Remember, always look for forced moves, checks, captures, and threats. You get to play bishop takes on d7 check. And here the bishop taking back will lose the game instantly. So here the queen has to take. And then knight takes queen. Wait a second. Why would bishop b takes be losing because here the bishop was guarding f7 for checkmate. So here we get to play queen takes on f7 for check and mate. Here we'll go ahead and finish up with the game with knight to d7 here. And here again we get to play that nice move, queen to f3, again attacking the bishop and the pawn. Here this time we're going to look at f6, a very desperate move. But remember, don't move the f-pawn tactic. Do you see it? Here we get to play bishop takes on d7, check. Again, if they want to survive, they're going to have to play queen takes on d7, but most people won't play this. They'll go ahead and take back with the bishop, and now we have the simple don't move the f-pawn tactic. Queen h5 check, g6, knight takes, pawn takes, and here it's your choice. Do you want a free rook or take for mate? I thought you'd choose that. Here we're going to play queen takes g6 for check and mate. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this. Remember, this is 3 different Caro-Kann traps in the Apocalypse variation. I hope it helps you out with your games. We'll see you in the next video.